Okay, everyone, listen, this and that gaming podcast, episode 3. A third time lucky, I think so. And with me, it's Daz here. Oh, it's me, Daz. And with me, as always, my compadre, Mr. Marky Sparky. How are you, mate?
Good, mate. Daz is having a shocker. It took him 3 days to get it going. But we got there in the end,
man. Mate, I was trying to mix Arcade Perfect in there for some reason.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I see where your allegiances lie. I see how it is.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Good.
Yeah,
good,
mate. Good. She hung up.
Yeah, she hung up. How you doing?
What's going on, man?
Oh, yeah, you know. We've got a guest on, that's all I know.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. And our guest is Boost! Boost. How are you, mate? Mr. Paul Barbara, a.k.a. Boost. How are you, mate?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on the show, guys. Good to be here.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's been a while. I was on the retro discussions, and here we are, modern gaming. I'm impressed.
This and that gaming, actually.
This and that, yes.
Bit of old, bit of new, bit of everything.
Fantastic.
So, it's been a while, man. So, tell us what's been happening on your end.
On my end, lots, and also not lots. So I guess for those that don't know me, I've known Dazza and the crew for a long time, back in RD days and CD days and long time ago, and I've sort of been a big gamer myself. Created Daily Joystick Podcast, which sort of started off as just literally a podcast, really, talking about games and news, exactly like what we're doing right now. But then, like most people, I got really greedy and wanted it all and wanted to be, the next IGN, and soon realised, well, maybe not quite yet, but basically, or ever. So basically, expanded into game reviews, grew the team, and, got to a point where we were turning out like 150, close to 200 reviews a year. And then it sort of became a job. And long story short, after many years, like nearly close to 10 years of doing this sort of stuff, I sort of decided I'm going to play games for fun again, but I'm still going to podcast. So we're still running DJ and still got our podcast going here and there on our YouTube platform, just because we like to have video and let people see what we are doing on our show. And let's be real, we're just flaunting our game rooms. But anyway, and yeah, literally just current gen gaming. So really now gaming more for fun, enjoying the gaming, and podcasting where I can. So that's what I've been up to, apart from work, family life, and all the other boring things that get in the way of gaming.
Yeah, I hear, man. I hear. And yeah, we got tired at a stage, didn't we, Mark? We just get tired, so we can sympathise.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into these sorts of things, and running all sorts of things and dealing with PR and events and coverage. It's really a full-time job, and my hat goes out to all the people, you guys, and people like Peter and other site owners that I've met over the years. That just it's a real passion, and it's just a lot of work. So shout out to those guys. Early shout out, if I may. There you go.
Right. It's true, and I think a lot of us independent podcasters don't get enough credit compared to other podcasts. I mean, you'll get a high profile website will start a podcast and get say tens of thousands of hits when their content isn't as good or just as good as the independent stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, their only advantage is they got the inside scoop.
That's right.
They're really high up on the traffic, so they get the stories. So most people follow just for the news releases, but there are so many other great podcasts out there that give deeper insight and deeper thought into the topics and the gaming, kind of like this one. And that's what I like. It's really talking about the issues and the stories, not just throwing out a press release and moving on to the next topic. So
that's right, exactly.
Here we go.
Yeah, I hear. So, talk about press releases, Mark. What do we have?
There's been a ton.
Yeah,
but before we move on to that, so what has everyone been playing for the past few weeks?
You know what, Mark? Why don't you go first? Go first, mate?
So for me, since we recorded last, I played through Devil May Cry 5.
Oh, did you finish it?
I finished it, yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's not a very long game.
Okay.
It's not a long game at all. You can probably do it within about 10 hours, but it's meant to be replayed over and over and over again.
Okay.
So, like, you unlock the next level, play it again on harder, and etc.
Oh, like Nier. Like Nier.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
But me, I was content to play it through once,
Yeah.
and it is the most ridiculous game I've ever played, and it is awesome. It is so good. Besides that, Sekiro came out, has kicked our collective asses.
Yeah.
It is extremely difficult. But what's been getting most of my time over the past couple of weeks is I've fallen back in love with Overwatch. So, have been sucking it up on there.
Still easy to find games?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, like some days you might take a couple of minutes to find,
Yeah.
depending what mode that you're playing, but there's still lots of people playing it. It's been playing that for a fair bit. And I played a little bit of the Mortal Kombat 11 online beta over the weekend.
How is that?
Netcode is really, really good.
Wow.
I was getting paired up with people from the US, and man, it was solid. Like, it was like playing. The dude was sitting right next to me.
Wow. What format?
PS4.
Okay.
Yeah, PS4. But yeah, it's a big difference compared to Part 10, but we'll talk about that one next podcast once the full game's out.
Okay.
But yeah, that's been about it.
Okay. Boosty?
That's some pretty solid titles there. Don't know if I could top that list, but I'll give it a go. Yeah. Well, where do I start? I spent probably at least 3 months playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and I sort of wrapped that game up about 6-7 weeks ago, and I just wanted to give that a quick mention because that is a truly amazing game. That game has just redefined that genre and series from a stealth-based game to a full-blown RPG, and exploring Greece. I lost over 100 hours into that game, so that took a lot. And then I needed something different, and of course, for those with Xbox Game Pass, you know that Crackdown 3 is actually released, and that was free. And look, it's the sort of game I wouldn't go out and shell $100 on, but it has actually been pretty mind-numbing, basic fun, running around, shooting, orb collecting, just basic gaming. Like, it's a solid 7. It's not there to recreate the platform, the world and set a new standard, despite its big promises earlier on a few E3s ago. I won't go there.
Yeah.
But that chewed up a bit of time. Resident Evil 2 knocked that one out. My God, what a remake. And I say remake meaning this thing was a ground up complete reconstruction of the original, which I never actually remember playing. So I think I did RE1, RE0 because I was kind of on the Nintendo thing, which you probably know. So I never really got to play number 2 because that was probably a PS1 exclusive at the time, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it was.
And so I bashed that out. That was fantastic. Then I've been sort of jumping in and out on the Shadow of the Tomb Raider DLC, which has been drip feeding us one extra chapter a month, and I think 6 of them are out now, and they're actually really good. So I actually really enjoyed that game, and that's already out on Game Pass too for those that are interested in picking that one up for virtually nothing. It's really well worth playing. Last week I picked up 2 games. This is actually on Thursday, so I didn't actually get much airtime with these. Yoshi's Crafted World for the Nintendo Switch.
That looks great.
Art style is amazing.
Yeah.
I am not kidding. It is amazing. It's a bit simplistic in its game design, but if you really want to explore and get every single collectible, you'll be replaying levels half a dozen times, But at the moment, me and my daughter are co-oping it. We're going through it together. It can be a bit annoying because every time she presses a button, her Yoshi eats my Yoshi, then I get spat out, and that can be a little bit draining. But single player, I'm actually really enjoying it. And the last game I picked up last week was Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. I am a Bloodborne fan. I've completed that game. I've played other Dark Souls games for a little bit. Never really got too deep, but enough that I went, it's all right. But this Sekiro is different. It is different. It is brutal. Not as brutal as a Dark Souls game. Like, in a Dark Souls game, you couldn't just walk up and hack and slash an enemy to death. Some enemies you can, but you've really got to nail the timing.
It's all about timing.
With
Yeah.
the counter in there. And you've even got the option of actually sneaking around him and just keep walking, whereas I think in games like Bloodborne, you had to pass through that road to progress.
Yeah.
And that was sort of the difference. But really enjoying that. I won't lie, I've wanted to throw the controller a few times. But that's pretty much been my repertoire or recipe of games that I've been, enjoying the last few weeks. So there you go.
Well, yeah, I'll start off. That's solid games there. Well, I can agree with Sekiro. I was like, while I'm not wanting to throw the controller, I'm playing other games. I just, it was just, it tore me, it tore me apart, that game. For me, it's really brutal. I think I've got to need to get used to the mechanics in it. It is different. It is different to Bloodborne and Dark Souls. And,
what they need to do, though, Darren, is they need to have, like, From Software's biggest problem is they don't really explain stuff that well. Like, within the first few minutes, I got given all these items and all this stuff, and then I was like, but what does it do again?
Yeah.
What's this for? And it's this constant exploration and just trying things, and that's what's so different about this game. It really doesn't follow... From Software games just don't follow that standard formula.
I think that's why they're so successful. is a difficulty. I think I was watching a video on it yesterday, and some people were saying that there should be an easy mode, which I disagree. That's the game. That's what's made From Software successful, is the difficulty. And obviously, it's not impossible.
It's the equivalent of saying they should be wearing clothes in porno. I mean, really.
Yeah, it's stupid.
What are you asking for,
Yeah.
people? That's
It's
ridiculous.
It's dumb. But, I didn't get too far with that. I had to put the controller down. Besides, I've been playing a lot of retro stuff, a lot of, what was it? Pretty much everything, because I had to play Super Monaco GP for the other podcast.
Yes, I wanted to talk to you about that game. You didn't mention the Game Gear version being even shittier than the Master System one. It is the same code, but it was on a smaller screen.
It was the other way around. I think it was worse than the Master System.
Yeah.
But, I played a lot of Super Monaco GP, a lot of emulators, Mega Drive, a lot of NES. The NES has been getting a bit of love lately, trying to find some obscure platformers. Yeah, I know you're impressed, Mark. Oh, that impressive face there. I'm actually after Gumshoe on the NES. I bought myself a Zapper. So I've never actually played that game with a Zapper before, because that's how you meant to play it. You meant to clear the way for your character to move to the right or something, and it looks really cool. So we've got a game market in a fortnight's time. Hopefully I can find a NTSC copy. That's highly doubtful, but no, most of the stuff I've been playing, obviously the Switch. I bought Game Ground, the arcade version on the Switch, so I've been playing that a lot lately. I love that game on the Mega Drive. Even on the Master System, it's great. On the PC Engine, it's awesome. But the arcade version, for some reason, is really hard to emulate. Or I can't find a good emulated version. So that's why I bought the Switch version. It's brutal, man. It just... difficulty jumps on level 3, and it's like... It's like Sekiro from 1980s. It's just... the difficulty just jumps, and it just throws you in this shit. So, I've been playing a lot of Game Ground, actually. I was playing before we jumped on this podcast, so... That's me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sounds awesome.
Alrighty.
So, yeah. Let's go.
So, since the last episode, there's been a hell of a lot that has happened.
Yeah.
News-wise, so we've got a couple that we're going to try and go through. We'll kick things off with Google Stadia. So, Google dropped a bombshell a couple of weeks back announcing their new Stadia platform. So basically what Stadia is, we kind of discussed it a little bit on the last episode, but basically it's a streaming service for games. So you can play the games that are available on this service, so you can play them on your tablet, on your PC. You can play them pretty much on any device that supports it. They're going to be releasing a controller for it as well, which is basically a rip-off of the Xbox controller. And there's no real surprise there because the man behind it is Phil Harrison. So he was from formerly Microsoft and Sony. So he had his kind of hands in the pie for both there. And they're promising low latency. They're promising a lot, like low latency, because that's the biggest concern with a lot of people is like, what is the lag going to be? They showed off. Look, I haven't seen a lot of the videos, but I think they showed off Assassin's Creed from memory, and a couple of other games. And yeah, it's been kind of a mixed reaction. Some of the reports that I read said that yes, you can definitely tell that there's input lag, latency there, but you get used to it quickly.
Oh, it's not. Yeah,
you know
actually,
what I mean?
I saw a video too. 'Cause they even said that even the picture qualities is still a touch blurry.
Yeah. Because essentially, what you're seeing on your screen is it's a video of you playing it. Like, it's not. You're not downloading the game itself. You're playing the game on their data center, and it's basically broadcasting a video of you playing the game. So
That's
there's,
right.
you've got. So if you factor that in, so you've got your ping to the server, and then the server back to you with the video. So yeah, we'll see. I think it's going to depend on the game. Like, for example, fighting games like Daz, you and I, even you, Boosty, we love our fighting games. Zero chance on this stuff. It's too Twitch based. I couldn't even see something like Call of Duty or any other kind of like Twitch based reaction based game really working on this platform unless they really, really nail the latency. And to do that, you'd think that they would have to have server farms like pretty much everywhere.
Yeah. Can I jump in on that point, Mark, if I may? I think it's look, I'm going to say it's a great idea, right? And we're seeing this with Microsoft and Project xCloud, and we're seeing this with Apple, and we're seeing a lot of this digital streaming services. Let me just give you an idea of the data size. So I have Netflix. I have a connection that can do 4K streaming, YouTube, the whole lot. Just to watch YouTube in 4K, my connection will pull data down at around 20 to 23 megabit per second, right? Then you got to factor in the data required for your commands back and forth, right? The average recommended download speed required is around 30 megabit. That's what Google Stadia is actually going to need, right?
That's insane.
And that's consistent with probably a ping of less than 10 milliseconds. So that's pretty full on. A lot of people in Australia are jumping on the whole, and I can understand why, because I have lived with shit internet too. Don't you worry about that. Hashtag Australia. It's an issue, right? All this is dependent on, like we said, it's dependent on internet, right? But the difference is with Google Stadia and, say, Microsoft's xCloud, right, is you've got the biggest... I'm playing devil's advocate too at the same time, so if I sound like I'm switching both sides, there's a reason. Yeah. Google is the biggest corporation in the world, right? And if they say it's going to work, you know what? It's probably going to work. And the way they're going to make it work, I think, is they're going to have servers literally next door to your house.
Yeah.
All over the country, all over the world. So this latency and ping, hopefully, if you've got a good internet, because that's the second piece of the puzzle, will avoid that. And what I heard in a few other shows I've been tuning into is most people build a service and then rely on the internet. Google is actually building the infrastructure and has that infrastructure. Now they're adding the service, which is the gaming console.
Okay.
So they've actually got all the hardware out there. See, whereas we're all dependent on PlayStation and Xbox and streaming services on basically our ISP provider. And that's where I think this could potentially succeed on the technical front because they have the hardware. But then, as well as I do, there's other things that you need to succeed. One, great games. great software, great publishers, great backing. If you can get all of that and the infrastructure works and then people trust it, you might actually have a chance. Am I excited for it? Yeah. Do I want it? Nah. I'm still a look behind me, right? For those that can't see an audio podcast, big game room. I like stuff on disc or cartridge or whatever. Digital is great, but do I see? I mean, if you've ever tuned into the DJ podcast, you've seen sometimes, no matter how good my connection is, the call quality drops. You suddenly get a little bit of a lag. You know, if that's a game and I'm playing a game and suddenly I've lost a race or I've been shot, you know, because I couldn't react in time, that's going to get frustrating pretty quick.
Yeah.
So I think that's, you know, just sorry, I wanted to add that in there because I think, you know, a lot of people are just discounting Google Stadia based on internet only. But if you actually look at the bigger potential and what this could do, it's a possibility it can work.
Yeah. And like you said, if anyone's going to make it work, it's going to be Google and it's going to be Microsoft. Or potentially Sony, but yeah, I would hedge my bets on Google over pretty much anyone else. So yeah, we'll see. I definitely wouldn't write it off. That's for sure.
I mean, they really tried to sell people on the performance stuff. I mean, 10.7 teraflops, people. You know, the power of a PS4 Pro and an Xbox One X mashed together and had a child. This will be it. Right, 96 chromosomes in this bad boy, right? It's just going to be off the chain. But that's all marketing because that is just basically a big-ass data server, right? Exactly. Doing all the processing. At the end of the day, the size of your pipe and how quick that data can get to you is the key. But I'm positively optimistic.
Yeah, I'm happy to sit back and see what happens. I'm happy for what I've got at the moment, so I don't really not stressed.
Yeah, yeah. And I reckon the most resistance you're going to get is going to be from people our age as well. Like you said, Boosty. Look, like I take a look at Paul's game room, and there's just this massive collection of cartridges and discs and things like that. And that's what we grew up in. Maybe our grandkids down the track, they won't care.
They won't care.
They'll be happy to take it with them anywhere. Yeah. So, look, again, it's a big wait and see, but yeah, as I said, I think if anyone's going to make this thing work, it's going to be Google. And as Boosty also mentioned, Apple's getting in on the game as well, although theirs is slightly different. So they're also jumping in on the subscription business, basically. They're going to be offering a like a Netflix style. It's not even Netflix. It's basically an iTunes type subscription, but for games that you can play on their devices, on their phones.
But do you know the data? Tablets. Is the data going to be downloaded onto the? It's
going to be downloaded. It's not. I don't think it's going to be streamed. With the Apple stuff.
That's promising.
Yeah.
It's basically like Netflix for gaming. It's kind of like Game Pass, but with Apple's store.
Exactly.
Their products.
So if you're an iOS user, keep an eye out for that, I guess. If you don't mind your mobile games, but I think they are actually going to be bringing some bigger games to that down the track as well. So
it's going to have their own controller and everything too, or.
I'm not sure. Okay. I didn't see anything about that.
I mean, maybe you can connect up your normal Bluetooth controls like you can do currently, but things like development partners include like Sega, Konami, Disney, Sumo Digital, Cartoon Network, over 100 exclusive games part of the service, and games constantly added all the time. So, sorry if that sounds like Game Pass, but it kind of does. But you know what? Like I said with Google Stadia, this Xbox Game Pass, these services are only as good as the content that they can provide and the exclusivity for each other, but I think that's a good thing especially if you're a mobile on your app device. Let's be real, who likes playing a game, it's free, finishing level 1, pay to continue, pay for this, pay for that, on your Apple stuff. I love the days years ago where if I had a game on my Apple iPhone, I paid $3.99 and I own the entire thing. I'd rather those options, owning a game. So, this nickel and diming thing, I think is just, it's run its course. And I think this sort of service, giving you full access to full games without the need of adverts and microtransactions and all that, is actually probably a good thing. It just, again, comes down to costing and what it's going to be in our region, of course, and stuff like that.
I honestly think it's going to do well. I think it's going to do well.
Yeah, and look, Apple fans are loyal, right? So, yeah, and they tend to jump on anything that Apple dishes out. So, yeah, interesting to see how it does. Okay, next one, Nintendo Switch. So there's been, and this has been going on for a while, but the rumors are starting to pick up pace. So 2 new models heavily rumored to be coming out of the Switch. So from what I've read, so one is more geared towards people like us, so you're hardcore gamers, so it's going to have enhanced features, and from what I've read is it's probably more geared towards your docked mode, you know, so there, and then there's another one that's going to be a more stripped back Switch, which will basically be more emphasis on the handheld.
Yep.
So more for your DS users and things like that. So
you know what? It has a D-pad.
Oh, really?
Yes, it has a D-pad. Supposedly it has a
You're right,
D-pad.
the 4 arrows, yeah.
Yeah. And basically what they're saying is, so they'll strip back some of the options to cut costs on the handheld one. The thing that I mentioned was like the vibration, because I think they don't have some kind of special pattern or something like that. Yeah. Their HD vibration, or whatever it is that they call it. So
That was fun.
You can feel the ice cube.
yeah.
That was for
Exactly,
nothing. That was all for nothing.
So rumor is that they'll be announcing these around about E3 time.
Okay.
Thoughts?
I think it's a good idea. I think it's great. I like that they're going to release a more powerful Switch. I don't know. Look, hopefully it's going to be like the Xbox One X or PS4 Pro. That I'm not saying power-wise. I'm saying that you can put in the game and it'll just enhance it, like you were saying. You don't have to have that model to play all the new games.
Yeah.
Let's just hope it doesn't go in that direction. I love that there's just going to be a handheld version. I think that's great. I'm not going to buy it personally. Oh, well, maybe I will, who knows. But I'm a sucker for that crap. Yeah, look, if it's nice and strong and sturdy like the Vita, I think it might be a winner. You know, if the screen's
Interesting.
smaller. Yeah.
Yeah, look, I'm a supporter of these 2 models because they extend the life cycle of the hardware. We've seen it with PlayStation and X, and you know, they play games on both. You know, one at a lower resolution, one at a. I think the biggest problem for Nintendo Switch is they are from developers, and what all developers are saying is the hardware is limiting.
Yeah.
You know, so I definitely think faster processor, you know, again, not Xbox One X spec, but at least something better so that developers can continue to port their games to the Switch, right? The smaller handheld version, if it is less powerful, you know, that's okay. If the screen's smaller, the resolution's dropped, you know, but what you don't want to have is you don't want to create a disparity between you can't play this game on this model versus that model. You've got to basically think of it like a PC. This is low to mid spec and this is high spec. It ain't ultra, but it's somewhere up, you know, higher up. And yeah, cutting the controllers off, making them fixed, you know, eliminating a lot of the issues with the first ones and the battery life and all those sorts of things. I think, you know, let's be real, the 3DS has run its course.
Yeah.
You know, there's no games, there's no more direct thing happening. So I think it'll be great. I just hope that they go with the Tegra X2 chip now, the better one. I think the first model's got the X1.
As far as I know, they are, yes, yeah.
Yeah, so better chip, more power. You know, probably what they should have gone with originally. Saying.
Yeah, because that tick was already over 3 years old. That tick's in the NVIDIA Shield, man. So I'm surprised they went that far with that.
Yeah, but maybe in 2 years, cost of production to really come down, and this is, you know, what will be better. But I'm all for it. Would I go out and turf my old one? Well, you know, unless I can basically be confident that there is a significant step up, and games will look better and run better and perform better, because I generally play in dock mode, let's be real, then I might consider it. But not if there's a huge price differential, no.
Good call.
Up here?
All right. Speaking, look, me the same. I will. For me, it's going to be wait and see. Unless it's a huge performance, I'm not going to shell out for another Switch. I'll be honest, I don't play mine that much as it is. And I'm probably kind of opposite. I probably play more in handheld mode, just so I can, like, if I'm kicking back in bed or something like that. But it's probably, I don't spend enough time on the Switch to justify buying another one unless it's going to be a massive upgrade. So yeah, for me, it's definitely going to be wait and see.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you treat your Switch, Dazza? Is it your primary gaming console, you would think, or is it just like, for me, it's more exclusives machine. I just go on and play those, and then same with my PlayStation. They're exclusive machines, and then all my third-party gaming is done on my Xbox, for example.
I wouldn't say it's. I say more for probably more for exclusives, but I like that it's the games on there are very Steam orientated, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of indie titles.
Yeah.
So I like that I can go out and play an indie game on my handheld. That's what I like it for.
Yeah.
But if I can get a game on the Switch other than the Xbox or PS4 that I know is not going to need much power, like for example, I got Trials, the latest Trials. I got it for the Switch. I go, why not? Yeah, I could take it out and play it elsewhere if I want to, Yeah. But yeah, I'm very wary. Like for example, even though it didn't come out, like Sekiro or whatever. For example, if that came out on there, I wouldn't get it. I'd end up getting the PC version.
Yeah, geez, can you imagine breaking a Switch every time you got killed?
Yeah. But like for example, Doom on the Switch. That's ridiculous how they fit that game on there. You know what I mean? So if it's the Switch, if it has the right programmers, they can do some magic on that thing.
Yeah, and that's the thing. The programming is what takes the time.
Yeah.
And there's a video you can watch on the internet. I think Digital Foundry did it. I think how they got Wolfenstein to run on the Switch, and all the techniques the programmers had to do, like erecting walls where there were no walls to cut out draw distance, and all these sorts of things to make the game run at a stable frame rate. It's actually really interesting, but it goes to show you that takes time and money and development resources, and not all developers want to do that. They just want to go chomp, port, issue, money, right?
That's right.
Yeah. And grow the library. This is why indies are so successful, because they can just get the stuff up on there and it's not going to demand all this power. So anyway.
That's right, yeah.
I'm tangenting on you guys. My apologies.
No,
that's fine.
All good. No, good. Good stuff. All right, next one. What I like to dub is the Microsoft Nintendo bromance. So we've seen the two kind of forming this little alliance over the past few months. So we talked about it a little bit on the last episode. So it has now been confirmed that Xbox Live is coming to Switch. And Android and other devices as well. But what caught a lot of people out of the blue was that Cuphead, which is funded by Microsoft, is coming to the Switch as well. It's getting its port. And it's going to be this, but what they're saying is, so it's coming to the Switch, and then it will be patched down the track to include Xbox Live features. What those are, I don't know if that's co-op or whatever.
Yeah, co-op, mate. Yeah.
So that's coming out, and now today, and look, and this is pretty much, this is very light-hearted, but Twitter put out a tweet saying, "Who would you like to see included in Smash?" And the official Halo account responded with the thing of Master Chief.
That would be. I'm not a Smash fan, but that would be pretty crazy.
And you know what? With Smash, anything can happen.
Yeah.
I mean, who would have thought we'd have Ryu beating the crap out of Cloud from Final Fantasy while true, Mario's off in the background throwing fireballs? So you never know. Look, I reckon probably more likely would be Banjo-Kazooie if they were going to give up one of their characters. But yeah, stranger things have happened. But it's interesting to see them kind of and we've had all the whole cross-play thing where Microsoft and Nintendo have been playing nice together, whereas Sony has said, no, sorry, we want our little sandbox to ourselves.
Can't quite reach the switch on the wall.
Yeah,
boys.
exactly.
It's not quite reachable.
And we know it's there because Fortnite had it happen for one afternoon.
Accidentally.
Flipped the switch back off, so we know it's capable, but...
Wrong switch, dude. Yeah.
Exactly. So, thoughts, guys?
This one, Dazza, I'm going to jump in on you here.
Oh, okay.
Because this one here is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to see the Xbox service rolling out with the SDK kits to every other platform imaginable. And look, let me just say, I've copped a lot of heat from a few fans here and there. Microsoft's doomed. They've lost all their exclusives. They've lost all their games. What's the point of buying an Xbox? Well, you know what? There probably isn't. But the point is, it's giving you a choice of how to play. And everyone needs to get out of their head one system, one hardware, one exclusivity of a game. This is now a Microsoft platform. Whether you have a handheld, a phone, a tablet, an Xbox, an awesome kick-ass PC, whether you want to play them live, whether you want to download them, whether you want to stream them via Project xCloud, whether you want to play your games on your freaking Switch, who cares? It's about letting you play anywhere and everywhere, right? And that's what Microsoft's model has been building to for many years, right? This is just another extension of that. Bringing Halo and bringing, Cuphead and other games to the Switch, it's just Microsoft's way of saying, these are our games, come play them wherever you are. Microsoft is making more money and more revenues on their software and their services than they are on hardware. You only sell the console once. Everyone knows your money is not made from your hardware. Your money is made from your software, right? Look at me, right? Behind me, there's 250 Xbox 360 games. That costs a lot more than a console did. Even if I bought two because it red ringed, right? Sorry, fanboys, but that's the truth of the matter, right? That's your first problem. It's about the games and the software. And two, it's about the infrastructure. I mean, I play a game on my piece on my TV. Wife kicks me out of there because she wants to watch friggin' Law and Order, right? What do? I turn my computer on. Right, turn my computer on. Oh, I was going to say Married at First Sight, but I don't want to open that can of worms here. Yeah. I turn on my computer. Boom, I'm playing there. I sign in. My game save is ready. I'm exactly where I left off, right? And then kids kick me off the computer. I can grab my Surface Pro and lay in bed and continue playing there. That's the beauty of what this is doing. So, in short, streaming, Netflix of games, everything on any platform, playing together, playing as best friends. I mean, this. Someone would have burnt you at the stake and called you a ruthless witch if you mentioned this 15, 20 years ago as being the future of gaming. You would have been crucified for this. But this is the future. This is amazing. I am really behind this 100%. And I still play my Xbox because you know what? Sometimes I like to park my butt on the couch and play on my TV. I don't want to sit in front of the computer and, stay there. There's choices. And the fact that Microsoft is partnering with Nintendo and everyone else and kind of leaving Sony a bit out on the left wing there, they're playing a little bit of catch-up there in that regard. I think it's massive. I think it's the future.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Yep. All right, Boost. I'm gonna throw you a curly one. Chances of a Nintendo game showing up on a Microsoft system.
Oh, which one would I like to see?
What are the chances of any of them?
What are the chances? Well, it all depends on how good they are in bed with each other, and if they please each other, and they see value. I mean, if Microsoft's bringing all of this stuff, surely there's got to be something they want back. And the one I'm hoping for in the back of my mind is something to do with Nintendo releasing some of their rights surrounding GoldenEye. I know there's more rights than just Nintendo. I know there's some part Microsoft, there's some part Nintendo, there's some part the Bond Corporation or whatever the hell it is. That would be great. Something in the Conker space. I could keep asking myself, why is Conker's Bad Fur Day never getting a sequel or a re-release port? There's something there in that licensing. I don't know how or where.
Okay.
But yeah, would Nintendo do something for Microsoft? I really hope so. I mean, hell, if you can have Xbox Live and party chat and do all the stuff you do on your consoles on your Switch, I mean, that's amazing. But yeah, I'm hopeful they will. I don't know what, but I'm hopeful.
Nice. Good stuff. Daz, anything else
anything? Sorry, I'll just throw it back at you.
I look. I don't know. I know. Look, Nintendo have traditionally been very protective of their IP. We've seen that with all the lawsuits that they throw at people doing their own little remakes and things like that. I think if we saw something, I'm just trying to think. I don't think it would be a Mario game, though. I think it would be something else. Maybe I'm just picking something off the top of my head. Maybe something like Pikmin, you might see, or Splatoon. Actually, Splatoon would be a good one on the Xbox.
That would work.
Yeah. Over the infrastructure. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I think it would be something like that. I think that the chances of seeing, say, Mario Odyssey on the Xbox One probably very, very low. But yeah, it would be something like that. And then again, they test the waters and it works. Who knows?
I reckon something like Star Fox would work, if anything.
Yeah.
But you know what? I think it'll be quite possible because hey, they released Mario on the iOS.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
That's true
Okay,
too.
it's an iOS game. It's not like a Mario game, but it's still Mario.
Yeah, that's fair.
They're doing Mario Kart now too, aren't they? That's the next one coming out in the handheld, I believe.
Yeah, that one's
iOS, whatever it is.
Really?
on iOS. Yeah, it's been
doing
pushed
a Mario
back,
Kart.
yeah, it is
Oh
coming
wow.
out.
Okay, well then anything's possible. Far out.
Yeah, that's a good question. Probably one for the fans to write in if they think they've got any answers too. Yeah, let us know. All right, so how are we at for time?
I'm still good.
All right, yeah, we can still have a fair bit of time left.
I have all night.
Sorry,
I have all night, boys.
yeah.
It's only work.
All right, so game announcements over the past month. There hasn't been that much, but there's been a couple. We'll start with the smaller ones first. Daz, this probably one that excites you and I probably more than anything. Shantae 5.
That'd be sick.
How long do you think this one's going to take until it comes out?
5 years.
I reckon they would be well underway with this one
already. So this is not a Kickstarter. Then this is actually
no Kickstarter. This one way forward for those that don't know, who did the excellent Shantae. There's so many of them I can never remember which one was the last one.
Oh, they did Shantae.
Anyway,
they did.
You have to explain this game to me. You have to explain this game because I just looked it up on Google and it looks like a singer. So I found the wrong thing clearly.
So it's a platformer. Shantae originally started off as a Game Boy Color game.
Yeah, yes.
Oh wow, that far back. Okay.
Yeah. And then a few years back, 2011 or 12, they did a Kickstarter for their last game, and Daz and I backed it. And thought we would never see our game because it did take them a long while. But they finally got there, and in the end, look, it was an awesome platforming game. It's being released on just about everything now. Yeah.
When I saw the picture, it looked familiar, but I just couldn't recall playing it.
It's very Wonder Boy, very Wonder Boy.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of Dragon's Trap and all that, you'll enjoy this.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So they've announced Shantae 5. No footage or anything like that as of yet that I've seen, but yeah, more to come.
Well, look, it's way forward, man. They haven't released trash ever.
No, exactly. Well, look, and this speaks to the pedigree that they got them to come in to help fix up Bloodstained, right? Well. So,
and another thing, they did the game version of The Mummy. You know, the Mummy, the movie?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Tom Cruise, that flopped. The game is amazing. It's like Super
Speaking of
Metroid.
which,
It's like Super
I watched
Metroid.
that the other night.
Yeah.
That wasn't very good at all.
No, I haven't
Now you
seen
tell me.
it.
Yeah, you save yourself the pain.
Yeah, if you're a fan of Super Metroid, you'll enjoy The Mummy on the Switch, or it's on Steam as well.
Okay.
Yeah, very, very good. Hard as nails, but very good.
Hopefully we'll see more about Shantae 5 soon. The other big release, and this was only announced a couple of days ago, Borderlands 3 is coming out. It's coming out this September, coming out pretty much to all platforms. Well, no, not all platforms, because I don't think there was a Switch version announced, although I could be wrong. And it is also going to be getting I think it is a 6 months exclusive period on the Epic Game Store, which is a rival to Steam now, which is building up a fair bit of momentum as well. When the Steam users are not happy, they are a salty bunch indeed.
So this is for the digital distribution only component, I'm presuming. So you can still walk into the store and buy it on Xbox and
Xbox and PS4. There's no issue there. It's more
PC.
more the PC side of things.
Those Steam guys don't like installing another client, do they?
No, not at all.
Screw you, Xbox stores. You know,
exactly.
bugger off this one.
I'm a
Origin
PC gamer, and I've got like 50 different thousand clients installed.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. What's one more? I think so. From what I read though is the reason people are so bent out of shape in this is because of Epic and their ownership of Fortnite and how successful it's been, and how much people just downright hate that game. Let it go, people. Just let it go. Don't worry about it.
It's just a game.
Exactly. So, Borderlands 3 though, and I'm getting the full judging by the looks on everyone's faces.
I love it.
Oh, really? I was never a fan.
Oh, yeah,
I got bored.
Oh, see, I played the first Borderlands on 360 when it came out, and I played it co-op with a couple of friends, and I loved the art style, I loved the cel-shaded graphics, I loved exploring the wasteland, and I loved when you encountered a new boss, the way the screen would flash up in the name and a bit of a little jingle would come up, and you take on that enemy. And I loved the loot drops. I mean, that really is what started the whole loot drop system, right? And then Borderlands 2 was good, but didn't feel like it hit the stride with number one. Then I got a bit cheesed off with the whole pre-Borderlands sequel, which was on the moon, and it wasn't that great. And then I was kind of like, oh, now they got a handsome collection. I'll pass on that. And then here we are with Borderlands 3. So I'm hoping Borderlands 3 it's been long enough that I think hopefully that they keep enough of the core game, but at the same time invent a bit more on this franchise, because the loot drop shooters have been done everywhere at the moment, right? They're all over the place, like your Destinies and your this and all that. So like there's a lot out there that's evolved since Borderlands. So if Borderlands 3 came out doing exactly what Borderlands 1 and 2 did, I think apart from the hardcore audience that would lap it up, I don't know how
it's not
successful it could be.
Yeah, it's not going to stand out. It won't at all.
No, so we don't know what it is yet. Haven't seen much, but we've seen a snippet of gameplay trailer, not gameplay, just like snippets of scenes of enemies and all that. But what's the menu? What's the loot system? A billion weapons apparently. I saw that.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
That was hilarious. But yeah, look, I'm definitely going to be the day one. Would I be shoving out $300 to $500 for a big chest edition? No, because I literally have no space here. And I'm not kidding. I've got my Fallout helmet on the floor. Probably my first regretful purchase. Anyway.
Alrighty. So, alright, next one. Daz, I'm going to leave this one to you because I know this one's going to be a passionate rant of yours. Okay. The Atari VCS delayed once again.
Supposedly it's going to have a processor upgrade. Hardware upgrade. So, yeah, exactly, Wank, exactly. So, the Atari, especially the Atari Age forums, they're devouring this. They're just going nuts. And just, there's been a lot of posts lately on Facebook on the Atari Age. It's like, don't even mention this console anymore, because...
just for my benefit, why are people, I mean, apart from the whole value proposition, why are people really crapping on it in a nutshell for the listeners that don't know why it's copping so much heat?
Because it's not going to happen. It's a scam. It's all a scam. It was done via Indiegogo. There has been no... There's been nothing. There's only pictures of it, only digital pictures. You know, they're all just made up. There's no real screenshots. It's a farce. It's actually, I like using that word, don't I, Mark? It's just a complete scam, and they keep delaying it. And you know, it's on Indiegogo, and if you do something on Indiegogo, you pretty much know it's going to be something very dodgy. And it's supposedly it's going to run Linux, and it's going to be I think just not as powerful as an Xbox One or PS4. So, and it's going to retail at about $2.99 US. Now, why in the hell would you spend that much money when you could buy an Xbox One X for that much, even cheaper?
Yeah, with a vast array of software and
a more powerful
ecosystem and all that. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
And
no,
exactly. It's the only thing you get free with it supposedly is the Atari anthology. It's like, you serious? Like the Atari 2600 anthology, that's like probably got 40 Atari 2600 games on it. You get that.
Could have been better off doing an Atari Mini.
Yeah, like they have done a million times already. Yeah.
Yeah. True.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a complete con, and I actually, you know what? This is going to sound like a real bastard of a thing, but I don't feel sorry for anyone that put their money on this, because before it was even announced, it smelt fishy.
Yeah,
it did, because the people that are Atari is not Atari anymore. There's some guys bought the name. That's all it is.
Yeah,
it's not the real Atari anymore.
Could go down as the biggest hoax in Indiegogo history if that's the case.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah,
I mean, 2.25 million pre-orders in the first day.
Well, they reckon about half of that is fake. Like a lot of people on the inside did that pledging. Yeah.
Wow.
There you go.
Interesting.
So that's speculation. So I can't say that's 100% true, but I mean it's absolutely ridiculous. These companies shouldn't be allowed to get away with this.
Well, apparently the delay is going to see it launch at the end of 2019, upgrading the processor to a 14 nanometer processor, supporting native 4K video playback and all that. Interesting.
Yeah,
it's a lot of hardware.
Yeah, it's a Linux PC. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's an Atari box.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, and yeah. Next.
Next. All right. Well, that's pretty much it. So, do you think we've got enough time to do our
top 10s? Yeah.
Retro topic.
Yeah, man. Top 10. Month? Yeah. We got another 10 minutes or so.
So, this is the question that you put forward, Daz.
Yep.
How about we name only one of our favourite consoles from each generation, starting from the 2600 Coleco Intellivision.
Correct.
So Gen 2. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, because I wasn't born for Gen 1, so...
Let me take a look. I don't think I was...
I looked at the pictures. I'm like, what on earth are half of these things?
I was, but I would have probably tried to use them as a dummy.
I'm saying starting around the 2600 and that kind of thing.
Yeah, Gen 2.
All right, so we'll quickly go through these. All right, so Gen 2. So we're talking from 1976 to 1992. Is that right? Well, 82.
Yeah, probably 82.
All righty, let's go around the board. Daz.
Atari 2600, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boost.
ColecoVision, actually.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
With my mum and dad got me the optional Atari 2600 adapter. So I had the best of both worlds. So
you're lucky.
Yeah, ColecoVision all the way.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go with Boosty on this one as well. I had a 2600, but my best friend had a Coleco with the 2600 adapter, so I'm going to go with Coleco as well.
Sorry, Daz.
Sorry. It's a good system.
Smurfs and Zaxxon, man, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, I had Smurfs and Donkey Kong. They're two games I had.
Donkey Kong's solid, man, on that system.
Yeah,
solid.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one, Gen 3, So let's say 1983. I'm not even going to go through the year because these year brackets they've got seem way off. So we're talking from the basically from the NES that era. Daz?
Okay, Master System, of course.
Master System. So we're not including PCs.
Daz,
PC? No PCs. It's consoles.
No, just consoles. Okay.
Yeah.
I can't compete in that space.
Boost? Nothing?
Yeah. Oh, no. Me. Daz, pretty much, I reckon I'm going to be Daz's polar opposite here because I sort of dangled from the Nintendo chain from about this point onwards for a long time. So NES was from my choice.
Fair enough. Yeah, look, for me, it's going to be Master System as well because I don't really know anybody that had a NES. So that rules that out. Okay, 4th generation. So now
this is where we get out the gloves, mate.
Yeah, this is where we start. Exactly, this is where shit gets real. So we're talking 16-bit generation, basically. So Mega Drive, etc. Daz?
Super Nintendo.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no, Mega Drive, of course. The Mega Drive, of course.
Yeah,
of course.
But
then, sorry, I have to say the best game in that generation on any system is Super Metroid. So
I'll accept that.
Yeah,
thank you.
But the Mega Drive as a whole, I prefer. But anyway,
yeah.
Boost.
I'm Super Nintendo. It was actually the first console I bought with all my lawn cutting money over the years, so it's extra special. But I was jealous of Mickey's Magical Quest on the Mega Drive that my cousin had, and Super Monaco, which I did end up
maybe Castle of Illusion, you mean?
Castle of Illusion, sorry.
Yeah.
Castle of Illusion. I love that game. Toy World, I lost my shit.
Yeah.
That
Great
level.
game.
The colours were amazing, so yeah, nah. Super Nintendo, though, overall.
Nice. For me, Super Nintendo, because it has the best port of Street Fighter.
Of course you'd say that. Of course you'd say
Actually,
that.
that was the game I got, the first game I bought. Hyper Edition.
Oh, Hyper one. Oh,
No,
okay.
I bought the Street Fighter 2 Hyper Edition Turbo, the purpley box one.
Yeah.
Came with Championship Edition on it too. That was great. Awesome.
Yep. Yeah. For me, yeah, Super Nintendo. My first one came with Super Mario World, but I specifically bought it just for World Warrior. But also going to give a special mention to the PC Engine as well.
Yeah, true.
Which we didn't get natively here, unfortunately. Alrighty, next gen, 5th generation. This is when we start hitting the 32-bit era.
Yeah. PlayStation, for me.
PlayStation.
PlayStation
Boost.
Yeah, I was counting in different multiples. I just went straight to 64, so Nintendo 64 for me. No, it was about quality versus quantity for me back in the day, so...
Oh, well, you lost out there too.
No, I love when I saw Mario 64, it was amazing.
It is an amazing game. It is amazing.
That drew me in. It's still considered one of the most defining games of all time. But yeah, no, I love that, Ocarina of Time, stuff like that. So yeah, that was I was deeply in love with Nintendo at this stage, deep, to the point where I couldn't see what the fuck was going on outside the walls of my house. So yeah, missing a lot of stuff on PlayStation too, like Resident Evil 2. There you go.
There you go. Yeah, for me it was the Apple Pippin. No, I was very much square in the PlayStation camp, but I did. I have since developed very much a love relationship with the Saturn as well.
Yeah.
But back then you could only afford one, and the Saturn didn't come close, unfortunately.
And we didn't get half of the good games anyway.
Yeah,
in Australia,
exactly.
So.
Yeah, spot on. Oh, this one's a tough one. All right, 6th generation. So here we've got Dreamcast, PS2, GameCube, Xbox, and then the rest aren't really worth mentioning. Daz.
Okay. It wins hands down for me. Original Xbox. I had the most fun with that. Close second. You're probably going to freak out, Mark. GameCube,
yeah.
And then Dreamcast. PS2 I didn't touch until I got a 360. Yeah.
Fair enough. Boost?
So the love affair at this stage with Nintendo was at the stage where the relationship was starting to break down. And, she wouldn't let me play with other people. I couldn't go out and mingle, couldn't touch the online space. So I was GameCube for 95% of that generation, but 2 months before the 360 was announced, I actually jumped onto Xbox with Xbox Live and
serious?
Burnout 3 Takedown.
It took you that long to go on. It took you that long to get onto the original Xbox.
Yep, that's how long I was in denial. And finally, I cut the cord with the relationship, and I just said, nah, I'm out. And I got that, and Burnout 3 Takedown, followed by Burnout Revenge, and I got it at the end. I got Halo, and I was like, that was the revelation point for me, guys. What the hell was I doing? Stuck as a one-show, one-trick pony.
That's insane, dude. Mark
that was a big change.
So much fun with that system.
Yeah.
So I'm curious
I missed
to see
out.
what he says.
Man, this one hurts
It's
my
tough.
soul,
It's
man.
tough. It's
this
tough.
one hurts.
It is tough.
Far out.
Come on, Mark. Come on, Mark. We had good times.
Yeah, but I had good times with 3 of these.
You slut.
I was a dirty whore.
You were.
There I am worried about getting out of one relationship. He's in 3.
Yeah, I know. Oh, man. I gotta say Dreamcast, man.
Wow, really? Shit.
Because you know how much I love my fighting games.
Yeah.
And to me, that to this day, nothing has beat the Dreamcast for fighting games.
Okay.
It's still my favorite, but very, very, very close second goes to the Xbox and the GameCube just behind that. Like you, I didn't spend a whole lot of time with the PS2. I did get one not too long after launch when I was living in the US. But yeah, I never really got super attached to it. So, but yeah, I'm gonna have to give it to the Dreamcast. But yeah, Xbox is like super close behind. Next one, so 7th gen, 360, Mattel Hyperscan, Game Wave, PlayStation 3, the Wii, and the Zebo. I don't even know what that is.
Where's the Wii? The Wii? Did you say Wii?
The Wii, yes.
Yeah. The Wii is mine.
Xbox.
I'm taking a piss.
Oh, jeez. I thought it was serious.
No.
Actually, no, hang on. You didn't like the... Yeah, I think I remember now. It's coming back to me.
I don't hate the Wii. It's not great, though. Xbox 360, easy.
Yeah.
Is the Wii U considered part of this generation as well? I think at the end? No, it's not.
It's not included.
Okay. 360 for me because, like I said, I was in love again and I was all out with this one.
Yeah, for me, easily 360. It's up there as one of my favorite systems of all time. PS3, yeah, we had a nice fling here and there, but it was okay. The Wii, I was the one that hated the Wii, and I still do. It just, yeah. Anyway,
it had some amazing titles. Like some of my Wii titles that I love were, Twilight Princess was okay, but again, I won't lie, I did get the GameCube version. And games like Super Mario Galaxy, I mean, to me, that's such a jewel in the rough right there. I mean, hopefully something for that happens on the Switch and Paper Mario, so things like that were great.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a shovelware system. Let's be real.
It was, yeah, absolutely. When they're marketing to grandmas, right? It's Nintendo's lost the plot.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so then that brings us to current day. So now this is Wii U, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. Interesting that Nintendo's got 2 representations here. Daz.
Alright, I'll give you an order, okay? PS4, the Switch, which is not that far behind. Not that far behind at all. Probably the Wii U, and then Xbox One. I think the Xbox One. Yeah, I think the Xbox One is the dud out of them all. I've owned 3. I use mine as Netflix, the Netflix box.
Getting up and walking out.
It's great for Netflix. It's great for Netflix. But now I don't even use it for Netflix because I use my Android Nvidia Shield now.
Yeah.
Can you like kick him, Mark, or is that not possible?
Yeah, well,
you know what though, because the exclusives are not exclusives anymore. Now that I can play them on my PC, I just don't need it anymore. It's
no, that is a valid point.
That's why. I mean, I love Forza. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic game. Best car game you're gonna play ever. I think that's why I wanted to get another one, was to play that again. But then once it came out on PC, it's like, oh shit.
yeah.
But no, Forza is magnificent, absolutely amazing.
Boosty, I think.
Yeah, well,
where this is going to go.
Yeah, again, still in love. No, and look, I've got all, as you know, I've got all the machines, but Xbox One to me, because over the last 2 generations, since I got the original one, I've built a community of friends. I've got all my people, all my friends.
Yeah,
I've got infrastructure I'm invested in, the library, the games, and, the other ones to me are just for exclusives. And, the Xbox, I'm behind more than just Xbox. I think I'm behind Microsoft in terms of what, as I said before, what they've done for this generation. So to me, I don't have bizarre amount of exclusives, but that will probably change next generation with all the studio acquisitions. But Xbox One is my choice, and I absolutely love Forza and Gears of War as well. Looking forward to the new one of that.
Cool.
How about you?
For me, for me, it's going to be, I'm going to have to say the PS4 has been my favourite. Next, I'm actually going to say the Wii U. I've had way more fun on the Wii U than I have on the Switch. I'll be completely honest.
Well, let's be real. We've already played the games there first on the Wii U anyway.
Exactly, spot on. And that is a perfect point.
Yeah.
And then for me, look, I'm going to say the Switch. And then Xbox One has probably been my least favourite. What frustrates me about that system is the UI. I know they've revamped it time and time again. I've just never been able to come to grips with it, especially compared to how good the 360 one was. And now that, again, pretty much the point that Daz touched on later, now I'll be honest, I do a lot more gaming on my PC now than I do on the console, and I can play those games. I can play the Microsoft games on that anyway, so I can kind of cut that out as well. But yeah, I mean, it's got great titles. Like Daz said, Forza is godlike. I've never been a big Gears fan though, so it's not really up my alley. But yeah,
that's fair.
That's it.
And we're done.
I think we're done.
We're done.
Alrighty.
We covered a lot of ground there, boys.
We did.
All
right, Daz, want to take us out?
Okay, let's take us out. See you later.
All right, guys.
A big thank you for everyone listening. Shout out to all our new listeners, if we have any, and our current listeners. We're very modest, aren't we? Yeah, we're very modest, We do this because it's fun,
Small steps.
Yeah, small steps, baby steps, as they say. But thanks for Boosty for jumping on.
Yeah, cheers, Boosty.
Thanks so much for having me, guys. It's been
a
fantastic show. Yeah,
no, thank you, man. It's been great. Shout out to everyone that's listening in, and hey, if you haven't liked our Facebook page, jump on there. We're trying to get some more community interaction down there. It's a bit quiet, but not everyone uses Facebook these days, and the reach is ridiculous now. I mean, Mark can contest to that. But yeah,
his expression, people, it tells 1,000 words.
Yeah. Pretty much. But we've got our Facebook page. Subscribe to our podcast, and also if you want to listen to my other podcast, and that's Arcade Perfect Podcast with Sean Tagster. Do that. We review one arcade game on multiple home systems and compare them all and see what the best arcade perfect podcast again. Perfect game or port is. Jeez, Darren, it's tired. Darren is very tired. I can't speak England. Mark was actually on our last one, so you're going to hear more of him there. So
Yeah, unfortunately for you.
yeah. All right, everyone. So that's it, everyone. Until next time.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right, take care,
Thanks,
guys.
everybody.
Cheers, guys.
Take care. Bye.
Peace out, gamers. Bye.
Bye.